My name is Laura, and this is Rae. We're going to do a Yin Yoga class. So hop on your mat and join us. For this practice, you'll need a block. If you don't have a block, you can use a package of toilet paper. That works really well, or anything about this size, or maybe a cushion. You'll need a blanket if you don't have one of these fancy ones. Then a beach towel works really well. And then you'll need a belt. This one's optional, but you might need it, so grab a belt. If you don't have a yoga belt, you can use a belt from your closet, or maybe a tie, or just a big string that you can find. And then we're going to use this bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can use 2 pillows stuffed into one pillowcase, and that works really well. So if you need to pause the video and go get those supplies, do that now, and we'll meet you back. All right, so we're going to start with legs up the wall. If you've never done legs up the wall, you take your side hip touching the wall, and then you roll onto your back. You try to scoot your glutes all the way to the wall. Now, they may not come in contact with the wall, and your knees might actually be bent depending on how tight you are, and that's okay. We're also going to use the strap here. So go ahead and bend your knees into your chest, and we're going to loop the strap around your feet. We're going to take it about 3 inches above the knee on your thigh with your feet hip distance apart. So there you go. Once you get it positioned right, then you're going to tighten it up nice and tight. That way you can fully relax and let your legs fall against the strap. That will help release your lower back. And another thing, if you have plantar fasciitis, a great thing to add here is a bolster or a blanket, maybe some blocks on top of your feet here. And that really kind of helps lengthen those muscles on the backs of your legs. Become aware of your breath. Begin to notice what your breath is like today. Is it short and choppy? Is it long and deep and slow? And bring awareness to your emotions. How are you feeling today? How have you been feeling lately? Bring awareness to your thoughts. In this class, we really focus on noticing those things about ourselves, noticing the physical body, the breath, the emotions, and your thoughts. And I'll be timing Rae to make sure she's in the pose for an appropriate amount of time. We do each pose 3 to 5 minutes in this class. You're always welcome to come out of a pose at any moment. If you feel pain, numbness, tingling, please come out of the pose and listen to your body. I do like to start each class off with this pose if possible. Most of us spend a lot of time standing up all day and on our feet, and this just kind of is a gentle version, and it gets the blood flowing down to your endocrine glands and just away from your feet, kind of giving them a little break for the day. We'll be here for about 5 more breaths. Slowly come out by walking your feet down the wall and unhooking that strap. Set the strap over to the side, and you're going to slowly come up into a straddle with your legs facing the wall. And we're going to start with this blanket underneath your hips. So now that you're all in your pose. There, that's going to help elevate her hips. So if she does have any tightness on the back of her legs, it's going to allow her pelvis to tilt in the right direction so that we're focusing on the back of the legs instead of other parts of the body that we are not trying to focus on. And we have this bolster. Hopefully you have one at home or a cushion that you can take, and you'll put this against the wall, and you can rest your forehead against that cushion. Now, if you have any kind of herniation in your spine, you want to keep your spine straight on all of these bending forward movements. If it doesn't bother your back, feel free to round your spine. You can also tuck your chin to your chest, and we're bringing the back into flexion. So we want to open up the spine on the back side. Make sure you are feeling sensation in your inner thighs here, the groin area, that's where we're targeting. You may also feel sensation on the back. If you're not feeling it there, you may need to take your feet a little bit wider so that you feel the sensation. Now in Yin, there are 4 principles to Yin. The first one is find your appropriate edge. So what does that mean, playing your edge? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I'm in pain, I want to scream, and 1 being I don't feel anything, you want to be between a 2 and a 4 on that scale. So a mild to moderate sensation in the inner groin area, inner thighs, that's what we're going for here. So I will not know that, only person that will know that is you. And sometimes when you're practicing this class, the pose will open up for you and you can go a little bit deeper. Sometimes your edge changes. So you need to really pay attention to what you're experiencing in the pose. Second principle of Yin is finding your, we talked about coming into the pose and finding your edge, and the second one is relaxing the muscles in the targeted area. So in this class we focus on the joints and the connective tissues. So in a regular yoga class, we usually focus on stretching and strengthening the muscles. So in order to get down into those joints and connective tissues, we have to relax the muscles around that area. You may also get a muscle stretch in these poses as well, but that is not the target. And the third principle is to remain relatively still in the pose. I say relative because if you come into the pose and you think you found your edge, and that may open up for you and you may go deeper And at that point, it may be too deep and you may have to come out. So those movements are okay. You can come out of a pose, you can go deeper, but once you find where you can sit for a long period of time, you want to try to be still in that pose. Fourth principle of yin is coming in and out of the poses slowly, which is what we're going to do right now. So take your time, Rae. You're going to lower down to your back. Use your hands to help you remove the blanket. And then she is a little bit far away from the wall, so we're going to scoot just a little bit closer to the wall. That's good right there. And take your left foot flat against the wall, coming into supine pigeon, or thread eye of the needle, they call it in yin class. So plant your left foot on the wall. We're going to bend that knee so that there's a 90-degree angle underneath that knee. Then cross the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Good. You want to flex that foot, but also relax it. This class is about relaxing. And then press, you can leave the knee like that, or you can use your right hand, the opposite hand, to help hold that knee up like a little kickstand. Maybe push the knee to the wall if you need extra sensation. If you need less sensation here, this is just too much for you, you can straighten that leg that's on the wall, and that will bring you less sensation. So just listen to your body. Make sure you find that 2 to 4 scale. Some people practice yin with their eyes closed the entire time. If you feel that's good for your body, please do that. We are targeting the outer right hip here, so if you're not feeling enough sensation, you can take your hips closer to the wall. If you're feeling too much sensation, bring your hips away from the wall. And also try to relax the muscles in that area. So focus on relaxing the belly. Relax your thigh, your hip area. Imagine your breath going to that area and releasing any tightness. Slowly come out of this pose. So just take both feet flat to the wall. And then you're going to roll onto your left side, all the way down onto your left side, like in the fetal position. So just gonna all the way over. Take a couple breaths here. And then reach your feet to the wall right where they are. Or you can keep them hugged in, kind of. Okay, actually let's keep them hugged in to our body. And then take your right hand to the side of your abdomen. And you're just going to stay there and allow gravity to kind of pull that right elbow down to the ground and that shoulder nice and slow. We're just opening up the spine into a gentle supine twist. You can play with the position of your head here. Sometimes it might feel better to turn your head opposite the direction of your knees, or sometimes it feels better on your spine to turn it the same direction of your knees. As the pose opens up for you, maybe you want to straighten that right arm out to the side and maybe the left one as well, or maybe you just keep it right there on your abdomen. We are targeting the spine here. If you need more sensation, if you want to add a hip sensation here, you can cross the top leg over the bottom leg and come into twisted root. That is optional, so if you're feeling enough sensation where you are, just stay there. Your next inhale, you'll slowly come back onto the left side into that fetal position. You can uncross those legs, roll back on your left side, and you'll stay here for a few breaths, allowing your back to come back to its normal shape. You roll onto your back again and take the opposite foot onto the wall for eye of the needle, or they call it supine pigeon in regular hatha class. So you can keep it at the wall. If you want to use your hand like a little kickstand like we did last time, you can do that. And you can flex those left toes toward your left knee, but also kind of relax it. You don't need to be super flex. Relax the belly. Begin to notice what else tightens up in your body when you come into a pose. Is it your jaw? Is your forehead kind of scrunched down? Just kind of notice and see if you can relax in those areas as well. do a little differently in yin class is we allow the breath to become soft and gentle. Some people do like to do deeper breathing in this class, but if you allow your breath to become soft and gentle, when you get into a pose and you find it being very challenging, your breath starts to get deeper and maybe faster, louder. And if you keep your breath soft and gentle, that will tell you if you're past your edge or if you're where you need to be in this class. It's very, very important to play that edge and to be in that mild sensation in your body, because we are holding the poses for so long that you could injure yourself if you don't listen to your breath and what you're feeling in your body. From here, go ahead and uncross that foot, nice and slow. And you're going to roll onto your opposite side in that fetal position. Stay here for a couple breaths. And take your left hand to your abdomen and let that elbow kind of fall back nice and slow. Maybe it just stays there, maybe it falls back. Once it starts to fall back, take your time. You can keep your hand on your abdomen or straighten it out to the side when and if you're ready. Play around with your head position on this side. It may be different than the last side. We have skeletons that sometimes are different on each side. We're not symmetrical. So one pose may feel a certain way on one side, it might be completely different on the other. So this is the time for you to go through your body and process those type of things. It's also a great class to process your feelings, your thoughts. Normally I don't talk this much, but I wanted you to know a little bit more about yin. And if you came into twisted root on the other side with the top leg crossing over the bottom, you can try that on this side. And again, it may not feel as good on this side. Just listen to your body. You can place a block or a cushion or a blanket under your knee or in between your knees. That kind of can help support you. It can take away some of the sensation if it's too much. to the right side of our body in that fetal position, how we started, and just allow your spine to adjust. Take a couple deep breaths. Inhale, we're going to make our way onto our belly, coming into Sphinx pose. If you have tender hip bones on the ground, it's a good idea to take a blanket underneath your hips, just to kind of give yourself a little bit more padding there. And then she's going to take her elbows underneath her shoulders and her hands out like the number 11. Now, if this is too much sensation, we are targeting the lower back. If it's too much, you can take your elbows out wider, but that's going to make you have to use your muscles, and you're going to get tired. So you can take them out wider, or you can just cross the arms at the top of the mat, rest your forehead on your hands, and you're still getting a mild back bend in the lower back, a mild sensation. If it's not enough, probably need to come back up to your elbows. You won't know it unless you try it, so you have to kind of experiment with that. Also, the first thing I feel like that tenses up in this pose is your glutes. So make sure you relax your glutes, relax the whole back side of your body. And then if you have a block or a cushion and you want to take that in front of your face, you can rest your forehead on that block and just kind of relax down into the pose. You can also rock your forehead side to side on that block, just kind of massaging your forehead. Yin is about mothering yourself. It's about taking time for yourself and noticing your body and what feels good and what doesn't. It's okay to give yourself some love here. One more thing I'm going to say about yin, and then I'll let you practice, is it is a complementary style of yoga. So it complements other forms of yoga and exercise. It helps balance your body. It brings you down to focus on the joints and connective tissues and the physical level, but also allows you to be with your thoughts and your emotions and kind of process your day, process your life. It's also very meditative and just balances you out. If you're always doing young, fast-paced exercise, hard yoga classes, your body will be out of balance. They're very, very good. There's not one that's better than the other, but this class helps balance that. So you get the yin and the yang, and so your body will be feeling much happier. If you have time to just take for yourself to think about your day and process everything that's happened, it really does help out. Helps you sleep better as well. Got about 5 more breaths in this pose. slowly lower down, move that block out to the side, and cross your arms at the top of the mat. Rest your forehead on your hands, allowing your back to come back to its normal state. If your thumbs are close to your temples, you can give yourself a little temple massage, or maybe massage that jaw joint on your face, or maybe your scalp, or reach back, give yourself a little shoulder squeeze. Just a little bit of self-love can go a long way here. Next pose, we'll come back up to our elbows like we're going into Sphinx. But you're going to slide your right arm underneath your left. We're coming into half bow tie, is what they call it in Yin. And take your left arm, bend the elbow, and rest your forehead on that forearm. So we're targeting now the upper outer shoulder on that right side. If you're not feeling enough sensation here, because this is the half version of the pose, you can tuck your toes under and kind of push your body forward, rolling your chest a little bit more over that arm, the shoulders over the arm, and that will give you more sensation. And for some people, this is too much sensation on that shoulder. So this is where you can put a bolster or a blanket underneath that right shoulder, or you can place it under your chest or abdomen to kind of lift you up a little bit more, and it's not so much pressure on that right shoulder. Do you need any of that support? Stay right here where you are. If you want to add an inner groin stretch as well, you can hike up that left knee for half frog on, or half tadpole, we call it in Yin, on the other side. And you'll kind of kick that heel out a little bit from your body. There you go. And again, you can place a blanket under that knee or the ankle, or a block there if you need more sensation. Slowly straighten that leg back down your mat and come out of the pose, sliding that right arm out from under you. And we're going to go directly into the other side, so you'll slide the left arm underneath the right, resting your head on that right forearm. Again, Do a little inventory of sensation. It may be different on this side, it might be the same. We'll stay here for a little bit before we hike up that knee. If you took half frog, we'll stay here first. Took that half frog on the other side, go ahead and take it on this side, hiking up that right knee this time, kind of kicking the foot out. And notice how the sensations change in your body just by changing the pose a little bit. Yin class, the meditation is a little bit different than in a yang yoga class. In Yin, we just kind of let the thoughts and emotions flow through us without judgment and just kind of noticing them pass by. We don't focus on a certain type of breath or a certain visualization, because that is kind of more of a yang form of meditation. So in this class, we just kind of let things flow and let them work themselves out, let the thoughts work themselves out, the emotions, and we just kind of step back and become the witness of those emotions and thoughts and breath. Straighten that leg down your mat nice and slow. Remember to exit all poses and enter all poses nice and slow in this class. And just come right down to your belly. Good. And from here, if you've never taken Shavasana on your belly, how she's laying right here, I would recommend you try it. It's a different experience and it's kind of fun. Or if you would like to flip over to your back for the final resting pose, you can do that. And to save time on this video, we're not going to show you the whole Shavasana, but please take 5 to 10 minutes to allow your body to adjust, allow yourself to marinate in all of the poses we just did and the feelings that they created and just your whole experience. So please take that time. body. Roll over to the left side of your body. Inhale the biggest breath of the day. Open your mouth and let it go. Make your way into a seated position. Sit up tall. Bring your hands together at heart center and bow your chin to your chest. Thank you so much, Rae, and everyone else for joining us today. I hope you feel nice and relaxed. Please drink a lot of water. The light in me honors and respects the light in you. Namaste.